Welcome in on a Sunday morning to a discussion that we look forward to weekly. It's with this gentleman. He's the host of your weekly constitutional law professor, Stewart Harris. He is heard on public radio stations all across the country and on the internet. And he's at the Duncan School of Law in Knoxville at the Lincoln Memorial University there. Welcome in.
Thanks, Josh.
You talk once or twice a week, I bet, about First Amendment.
Occasionally we do.
The free speech issue.
Everybody's always interested in free speech, aren't they?
And it'll never be an issue that's not important. Of course, we're sitting here this morning because
because of Nazis and NFL players. And how are those connected?
Well, I was thinking mostly we're here because of the First Amendment.
Well, the First Amendment is what connects them all.
There we go. So I'm a little afraid to ask, how are you connecting the Nazis and the football players?
Well, everybody remembers the tragedy in Charlottesville. That was a terrible circumstance. At least one person died. A couple of police officers died as well in a connected incident. White supremacists, pretty nasty people, but they have the right to demonstrate as long as they're not violent. Now, they got violent in that circumstance, but the starting point is, do Nazis, do white supremacists, do people who espouse these extreme views that so many of us find so offensive, do they have the right to do that? Do they have the right to go to universities and speak and not be interrupted or shouted down? And the general answer is yes. If it's a public place, or if it's a place like the mall in Charlottesville, or if it's a place like a public university, they are protected by the First Amendment. But some very serious people have said that this is a place that we should draw a line, and that we should find a way to exclude Nazi speech from protection. The theory is that there are two competing interests here: liberty of expression, the First Amendment, and equality, which is enshrined in the 14th Amendment. And the theory is that speech should be protected except when it attacks equality. So you see, racist speech would fall outside the protection of the First Amendment because of the 14th Amendment. That's a very controversial theory, but it's being proposed very seriously right now, and people are debating it. So that's part of our episode. The other part, of course, is taking a knee during the National Anthem.
That First Amendment connection.
Yeah, well, certainly it's a free speech issue, right? But is it a First Amendment issue? Some people say, well, the NFL is a private organization, and the First Amendment only protects us against government control of our speech, so it's not a First Amendment issue. Other people say that the government is actively encouraging the NFL to punish these kneelers, and therefore the government is involved.
The government by way of the president.
By way of the president,
right,
specifically, and also because if you look back a few years, the NFL started playing the National Anthem pursuant to payments by the Department of Defense. In some sense, the government created the circumstance which ultimately we're debating right now. Again, interesting theories, and we're going to have people on both sides of those issues and talk all about them.
And fascinating, even more so, I think, that race is at the heart of both of those issues.
Race is often at the heart of many of our constitutional issues. That's the reason we have a 14th Amendment, which is, by the way, the first time the word equality is mentioned in the Constitution. These are both fundamental constitutional values. How do you balance these things?
You know, the court's spoken about the First Amendment.
It has. I mean, if you simply look at the law, there is no protection for so-called hate speech. Okay, there is no ability of the government to regulate so-called hate speech. It is protected by the First Amendment. Right. We've been debating that for years, but periodically it comes to the fore, and right now after Charlottesville and because of the NFL controversy, we're debating the same things again.
Fascinating topics.
Yes.
Plural.
Yes.
All rolled up into one show. You can hear it today at 3 and a rebroadcast Tuesday at 8. It's your weekly constitutional on 89.5 WETS. Stewart, thanks.
Thank you, Josh.